I'm here today to talk about a subject that we seem to be diligently avoiding. We talk a lot about marijuana and legalization and so on, but this is a different discussion. We're going to talk about marijuana and its effects on our kids and ourselves. Its effects. This is not a political discussion or a moral one. What I can offer is decades of observation as an emergency room doctor, a counselor, and what I've seen from interviewing thousands of people. And I've been reading uncounted articles on the subject across a wide array of political, judicial, social, criminal, and other opinions. I'm Greg Baer. It's natural to seek relief from pain, which is what we do when we use marijuana, which is often monetized in countless ways. Instead of just treating symptoms, consider that there is a permanent pain reliever in Unconditional Love, and it's available to everyone for free. Yeah, it's a little difficult in the beginning to grasp, but is universally applicable, consistently effective, and I'm here to help you with the start. For an introduction, hit the like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Now let's go back to our discussion about marijuana and unconditional love. Every year, more states are legalizing weed. First, medical use, unrestricted recreational use. It's all over the place. An estimated 13.2 million Americans use the drug every day, and that's way underestimated. And that's in the year 2023, so it's going to grow by the year. So, says one article, why is all this weed use starting to feel like a bad idea? When the first state legalized marijuana, I turned to Donna and said, people have no clue how bad this is going to get. This was years ago. There are documented long-term mental health effects like huge increases in depression, psychotic episodes, schizophrenia, and bipolar disease, and it causes organic changes in the brain and causes all kinds of terrible medical things. And I'm not going to talk about all that. Even though studies are showing all of these confirmed effects, I'm here to talk about the effects we can't measure. These are the effects of marijuana that nobody's talking about, and this is the discussion we need to have. We're not talking about the most important effects because we don't understand, an almost unbelievable, unforgivable ignorance, what we all need most, all of us, which is to feel seen, to feel understood, to feel loved. We need unconditional love or real love. If you don't know what that is, go to reallove.com or YouTube videos or thousands of things on the reallove.com website. I've published tons on the subject, and I'm here to tell you that the immediate effect of marijuana use every time is that it suppresses our ability to be present. I'm going to say it again. Ignore all the medical studies about your brain and addiction. It suppresses our ability to be fully present. It's a psychoactive drug. It has to do that. To be present emotionally, spiritually, in our relationships with spouses, children, friends. It impairs our ability to choose to be loving, selfless, and feel loved ourselves. I have not once ever seen somebody on marijuana become more loving and more aware. Now, they might tell you they're more aware. The people around them won't. We've got to talk about all the rationalizations. Does it relax us? Yeah. Is it fun? Oh yeah. But so is alcohol and heroin, fentanyl, porn, social media addiction, and more. But relaxing and fun are not enough. We've got to talk about the price we pay for fun and relaxing. Marijuana is a mind-altering drug, period, like alcohol. Does alcohol relax us? Mm-hmm. Does a glass of wine feel good? Oh yes. And with every drop of alcohol, our brain function is increasingly impaired, proven by uncounted studies. You'd think they'd learn that after 100, but there are many more than that. Hence, the fact that nearly every state has progressively lowered the blood alcohol that is allowable while driving a car. And it's the same with marijuana. And yet, despite our becoming more aware of alcohol's deleterious effects, we're allowing more marijuana. With every inhalation of it, every bite of a marijuana-laced food, our brain is altered and not in good ways. It's not like marijuana grows new brain cells. And the first thing to disappear is our ability to know how much we are impaired. I've seen this hundreds of times. You have too. A man gets drunk. It's obvious. He's about to drive home, and his friend says, "Will you be okay to drive?" Answer, "Oh, sure." No. In fact, no, no, no. I've worked as the primary physician in emergency rooms for years, and I asked every drunk who was involved in an accident of any kind, just for fun, "How many drinks have you had tonight before the accident?" Answer, I've worked in Texas a lot, "Dos cerveza," 2 beers. Some lying, sure, but mostly they couldn't remember how many drinks they'd had. They were that impaired. With marijuana too, we have no idea how impaired we are in perceiving other people's feelings or our own feelings or our ability to be loving. We are really, really screwed up. More about this as we talk about the article that I read about marijuana use. One article of a great many describes one sane person after the other who realized after many years of using weed that they couldn't do without it anymore. Couldn't live without it. Some of them experienced psychotic breaks while they were using, including one best-selling author of books extolling the wonders of using weed. And he said, "I had psychotic breaks." Not kidding. With marijuana, we see the well-known dopamine cycle of getting a hit, then less effect, then needing more, then feeling withdrawal. This is a genuine addiction, both physical and emotional. And those who are honest about their use have all experienced this. One article mentions that people are just poetic in their praise of weed. "It relaxes me. It gives me joy. It unlocks my inner self." And I'm sure that's all true to some extent and for brief periods of time. But we're not factoring in the effect that weed has on our ability to feel and give love. That can't be quantified, so we don't see a study about it. All studies on emotional effects are self-reported, which means that they're asking drunks, alcohol or weed, about the effects of drinking or using. They're asking marijuana brain impaired people how they're doing in their lives. Well, that's insane. It's bad science to do a study of brain impaired people by asking them how they're doing. That's also no understanding of love at all. One author said, quote, "Weed is part of every backyard barbecue and book club. It's not counterculture anymore. It is the culture," end quote. In states where it's legal, says one author, the smell of it is everywhere, at all times of day and night, on the streets, in public libraries, gyms, playgrounds, Department of Motor Vehicle lines where people are waiting, dog parks, churches, Ubers, retirement homes, and even hospitals. The mayor of New York said that the number one thing I smell right now when I step out of my office is pot. There are now more daily users of marijuana than daily users of alcohol. First time. Americans have used some THC products over the past year. Hang on. Got it. It was a new paragraph. It'll end at daily users of alcohol for the first time. More than 52 million Americans have used some marijuana product over the past year, more than double from 2 decades ago. I could tell you about the millions and millions, and the numbers just kind of disappear in the back of our brain. The numbers are increasing, and increasingly more young people are using weed. It's so common that many Americans believe that weed is just no more than another over-the-counter drug. No kidding, with no problems. Because if it's over-the-counter, what could be the problem? And in our society, you can buy it over-the-counter. Wrong. I have seen firsthand the breakup of marriages, the destruction of families, and the utter loss of genuine peace or even self-control that follow the pursuit of weed as a source of peace. The average legal product sold today is about 6 times, not 60%, 6 times more potent than in the 70s when we called weed users potheads. It's more potent and it's being used more often. And yes, there are fewer deaths from marijuana than with opioids. And opioids are just horrifying. Same number of deaths per year virtually as per year during World War II. But do we really want to normalize something just because it's safer than something else, like, say, cyanide? So marijuana is safer than cyanide. Let's use marijuana. One author said this: widespread cannabis use disorder translates into a society where more people fail to meet goals like, not just avoiding death, goals like graduating high school, starting a business, mastering a new trade or skill. In a competitive global economy, our country will end up losing. The use of marijuana or not use is not about death and physical disease. It's about our disappearing as human beings, and certainly as husbands, fathers, productive members of anything. Much worse is the effect of, worse than anything else, is the effect on individual happiness and on our families. One article described kids age 19 who cannot quit weed. They interviewed a group of kids who started at age 11. There's 2 or 3 kids. Who was their dealer? Mom. One mother interviewed called herself a weed mom. And she says, "It helped me with my anxiety and frazzled mom brain almost immediately." I believe that. She continues, "I continued to experiment and found it an excellent wellness tool that helps me with issues from migraines to overworked muscles to mental health." Oh, weed sounds like a miracle drug when described by some people. And I believe that in many respects, she was more comfortable, sure. But has anybody ever assessed her children to see if they feel more loved when mom's on weed? Or is mom just detached from everything in order to get to her condition of not anxious, which is not the same as peaceful? Nobody is studying the kids. Now there's something called dabbing, where cannabis is smoked as a butane hash oil, a form of consumption that's becoming very popular. What parents don't know is that dabbing has such high potency that a single session can be equivalent to 50 joints from a generation ago. 50 times, and we just go, "Oh, that's cute, dear." It's not cute. It's killing us. Solutions. Articles advocate decreasing potency, closely monitoring people, blah, blah, blah. All useless, or it won't happen. So what can we do about the use of weed and the effects that it's having on us and our children? It all starts with us, the parents. If you want to learn more about how to become a happy individual and an incredibly more effective parent, go to reallove.com and learn how to unconditionally love your kids.